Hi everyone, welcome back to my vlog. I'm Robin, or Hobbit Trading List. This week we are trying to get everything settled before the holidays and before I go down to Arkansas to be with my dad and my sibling, which means that we're doing a lot of running around, but I will be trying to get some reading in, some audiobooks in, but it's gonna be kind of busy. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so I finally read some more. I feel like because I'm trying to get this timed properly, my reading has taken a hit, even though I'm very close to my reading goal. So it's just interesting. I have read I don't know how much I read, but I read more of Love You, Latke. I think I'm on chapter 18, and I think there are only 23 or 24 chapters. So I'm getting close to the end. This is a slow burn. I just got to a kiss. That's how long it took. Which, that's fine. I don't mind that at all. Because I think if it had happened any sooner, it would have been really rushed. And I did feel like there were parts where, Abby's thought process felt a little rushed, where she was like, oh, this guy's actually really attractive, whereas before he was only annoying to me. So it just felt, I was like, okay. But anyway, I have to remember to talk about what the book is about. So Love You, Latke is a fake dating romance where Abby is this kind of grumpy and traumatized cafe owner in this small Vermont town, and she has a regular that comes in every day that she is very annoyed by because he's so chipper and optimistic, and she's just okay, no. And his name is Seth, and Abby is put in charge of this Hanukkah festival, but it's not actually intended to be a Hanukkah festival. They're just trying to be different from the other Christmas festivals around. So there's that, but Abby is trying to make it as accurate but also fun and inviting as possible. But the vendors around that area don't know about Hanukkah, and so she has to try to enlist another Jewish person that maybe has more connections than she does. And that's where Seth comes in, because he's the only other Jewish person in town. And so he agrees to help her. And he's not oh, I'll do this if you do this. But she's like, well, I don't have money to pay you. And he's like, well, if you want to repay me, you could pretend to be my girlfriend over Hanukkah so that I can introduce my parents to a nice Jewish girl. So they do that. And so most of this novel is taking place over Hanukkah. And it's going through each day, and with each day, Abby and Seth get closer and closer and closer. I believe where I'm at, we just did the 5th day? The 4th or the 5th day? There are 8. And Abby is growing on me. If you watched my previous vlog, I noted that, I didn't know enough. And, I know more now, so I understand. I understand her instinct to run. I get it. But it's also just he has literally never hurt you. I'm not saying she needs to be hurt in order for her distrust of people to be founded. She has been hurt. But at every turn, he has shown that he is understanding and patient and kind. And so it's just the instinct, I understand the instinct, I disagree with it. But also, if it wasn't there, we probably wouldn't have a story. So, yeah, I probably won't finish it today. I'm hoping I can finish it tomorrow. I have a very full day at work today, just because I have today, and then I have Friday, and then I'm on vacation. So, trying to fit in as much as possible. So I won't have time to read. I know I won't. So there's that. I haven't listened to an audiobook since I decided that I was doing a soft DNF of Wuthering Heights. I think what I'm going to do, because this is where the timing comes in. because I want to listen to a like Christmas or Hanukkah, something holiday-esque. I want to listen to that sort of audiobook on my drive down to Arkansas to my dad's. And the book that I have, the only remaining like holiday book that I have is 8 Nights in December, which I could only find on Audible in a like novella collection. So it has like 3 other like, I think they're Christmas, 3 other like Christmas novels in it. But it's only like 13 hours. I listen to 1.35 speed, so it's actually like 9.5 hours. And so I'm like, if I want if I want that to be on my drive down, I have to sort of time it to where like each day I'm listening to some. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna follow my mood. Like I might start listening to 8 Nights in December today, either on my drive there or my drive back, same as Friday. So it'll be spaced out, but I will be listening to it on my drive down, because my plan is on the way back to listen to the audiobook for Snow Falling on Cedars, which is like a mystery, and so not very like holiday vibes. So that's my plan. I will probably start it today, if not like listen to like a lot of it. But yeah, that's what's going on. Tomorrow I will probably read more, but I have to finish wrapping presents, so who knows what's happening. The days before travel are always super chaotic. Which makes it even more frustrating that like I only have one holiday audiobook, because otherwise I would like, oh, listen to my audiobook while I'm wrapping. I won't, because I only have the one. And I only want to listen to like holiday stuff right now. And I don't think I have any other books on my shelf that are holiday. I do have, what is it, Let It Glow, I think, which is a middle grade. I could see if I have that. But we'll see. But I gotta go. So I will have another reading update for you soon. Okay, so I've read quite a bit today. It's about 3 in the afternoon, and I have read 4 different books. Now that is reading 4 different books, not necessarily finishing 4 different books. But let me go in order. I started my morning with reading a section from the Torah. It was very interesting. I don't really talk about, that much, but I did read that. So that was about 28 pages, I think. And then I finished reading Love You, Latke. I actually really enjoyed that, like, there wasn't the, like, 3 different conflicts that are, like, typical in romance novels. Like, there's usually, like, a first act conflict, second act conflict, third act conflict. This only really had a third act conflict that we just, like, built up to and got to know the characters through the book leading up to that third act conflict. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was actually very well done. There were some things, as I've mentioned in previous vlogs, about like Abby's character at first, but as I predicted, as I got to Reese's cuddling, see, hi. As we got to know Abby better and her history, a lot more made sense to where I could give her more grace. So I really enjoyed that, and how the Hanukkah of it all was integrated, and the parts about like community. It was really lovely. It was a nice book to read for Hanukkah. So I ended up giving it 4 stars because I thought it was really good. I thought Abby and Seth's relationship was great. So I definitely recommend it. And then I read 2 chapters of sorry, I'm distracted by Reese. 2 chapters of The Gold Bat by PG Wodehouse. And this is gonna be rough. So The Gold Bat is one of his school stories, which means that it's one of his first published works. And and so it's not as like and so it's a little more meandering than his other novels, and not in a way that is like done as part of the story. Like I just think he wasn't as good of a writer then. And his school stories are cat hairs all over my face, are typically, you know, it takes place at like a boys' school, so it's all like adolescent boys, and they're all preoccupied with different sports, which, like, I don't mind sports if I'm like at like a live sporting event or I'm, you know, watching it on TV with other people who are like passionate about it. I don't like reading about sports. That is the most boring thing in the world for me. And the 2 chapters I read were all about sports. So this is not going to be fun, but I have to have it read this month, and preferably before I leave my dad's. So that means I have about a week to read it. So that's why I went ahead and started it. My dad says that it's fairly short, but it's also 24 chapters. So like his Kindle edition is 88 pages. Mine looks like it's like 150, but it's also 24 chapters. So who knows? There was that. And then finally, because my school semester is now over, I've received my grades back. I got all A's. Yay me. I finished reading one of the textbooks that I had to read for my class, where we read 5 of the 6 chapters. So I went ahead and read the last chapter and the conclusion, and it's fine. I mean, the information is outdated. I'm a little annoyed that, like, my textbook for a class called Writing for New Media, the textbook was 18 years old. So a lot of the things that were discussed were like, oh, this is a possibility in the future. It's like, no, that happened a decade ago, actually. So it was just a lot more of that. So for the time, it was well written, and it would have been really interesting. But because it was outdated, it just felt a little pointless. Like, I honestly don't think I learned much from that class, despite me getting an A. I think the teacher was like a really lax grader. So I read it. It's fine. I never said what book it was. I read Convergence Culture. I know I put it up, but I never said the title. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. Like, it was informative, and that's what you want for a nonfiction book, and it was well researched and everything. It just, 1, it wasn't interesting. 2, the information was outdated. And I normally wouldn't care about that, except it was literally a textbook for a class. So, but yeah, it's fine. So that was the reading I've done so far today. I don't know if I'll read more, mainly because it would mean reading more of the Gold Bat, which I don't want to do. And I still have to wrap like 15-ish presents. And so I need to get that done at some point today. Like, I have time tomorrow, like, night to do it, but I prefer not to. I'd prefer to have it done. So we'll see what my spinning wheel tells me. But I have to go and finish getting ready for personal training, and then go to personal training, and then we'll see what the rest of the night brings. But that is what I've accomplished so far. So that's awesome. But, alright. I'll talk to you later. Hi everyone. So I'm in my hotel room and I just ordered room service. And then I realized that I don't have cash to tip the person who delivers it, so I'm gonna feel really bad about that for a while. I drove about 5 hours, so I'm in St. Louis now, and I finished listening to 8 Nights in December by Keira, which is a novella, and I don't think I've explained the plot. So essentially, Lucas is an orphan. His mom died when he was little, and his dad just died like 3 months before the story takes place. And he is roommates with a guy named Sam, who is like this like super cool, super jock, kind of like stereotypical, although like he is actually a very nice person. But Sam's mom comes to pick him up for the winter holidays, finds out that Lucas is an orphan, finds out that he was just planning on staying on campus, and she's like, no, you're not going to be all alone. So I was going to say invites, but it's commands. She commands him to come with them. And so he goes to Sam's house in New York City for the winter holidays, and he's going to celebrate Hanukkah with them, which is very nice. But he has to room with Sam's younger brother, who's actually like Lucas's age. And Nate is very attractive. He's a photographer, but he's studying pre-law, and they get on like a house on fire. But Nate says that he doesn't want a boyfriend, so they spend the week trying to figure that out while they progressively get steamier and steamier and steamier. So it was very fun. I really enjoyed it. I liked how the relationship developed. I thought the spicy scenes were very well done. They made a lot of sense. I liked the realization that I think Nate had like halfway through. He's like, I said I didn't want a boyfriend, and I don't think that's what I actually want. Like he wants a boyfriend as long as it's Lucas. So no, it was very cute. I gave it 4.5 stars. I thought it was really great. I then started listening to, because I don't know if I think I explained this already, but I could only get 8 Nights in December on Audible if it was in a collection with 3 other novellas by Keira. And so I'm gonna listen to the other 3 novellas. Why wouldn't I? I think the other 3 are Christmas themed. I think that was the only Hanukkah one. So the next novella is called In Case of Emergency, and it is about former stepbrothers. So their parents were married for like 6 months, like a decade ago, and they fell out of touch after the divorce. But Daniel is he's very type A. He's kind of a workaholic. He's single. He's trying to like break out of his comfort zone, and he keeps getting told in not so subtle messages of like he shouldn't be breaking out of his comfort zone. It doesn't work for him. But he gets a call from this college that's in Ottawa where he lives that someone named Cole Smith had him as an emergency contact, and that he was in the ER and he needed someone to come get him because there's no one else around. And Daniel's like, I don't know Cole Smith. And then after a couple minutes, he's like, oh, that's my former stepbrother that I haven't spoken to in a decade. Why? It turns out Daniel's mother has kept in contact with Cole and encouraged him to put Daniel as his emergency contact and to reach out to Daniel because they're now in the same city. And so they essentially, Cole has a concussion and a broken arm. And so Daniel agrees to, watch over him, make sure that he's okay. But he had plans at this, he had rented out this, chalet for, Christmas week for a vacation that he, never takes. So Daniel's like, well, I guess you're coming with me. So they're in this very nice chalet together, and they have to share the bed for at least the first 2 nights because the person that Daniel had considered being in a relationship with massively inconvenienced Daniel, and they broke up, but that guy can't leave immediately because of snow. So we have a little bit of forced proximity and kind of only one bed because they do have to share a bed. But I don't know, I think I'm still in the beginning. I'm pretty sure that In Case of Emergency is a little bit long, a third longer than 8 Nights in December was. So I didn't quite finish it. If I had to guess, I would say at 35%. I might listen to more tonight because I'm in a very Christmassy mood, and the audiobook is really good, so I'm really enjoying it. So I want to keep listening, even though I should be reading the Wodehouse book. So I might listen to more tonight, but yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I've done. I've driven and I listened to those audiobooks. So I'm gonna just chill out for a little bit, and I'll talk to you when I finish listening to In Case of Emergency. Hi everyone. I'm officially at my dad's house, and I have a reading update. I finished listening to In Case of Emergency. I really like how they got together. It was very different from 8 Nights in December. Even though it was spread out along the same timeline of about a week, it happened very differently. It was, I would say, more emotional, but it made a lot of sense. It was very cute. Very cute. I didn't know how I would feel about stepbrothers. To be fair, they were former stepbrothers, so that probably made it feel better. But I don't know. I've never read, stepbrother romance, so I don't know how I feel about it in general. So I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. It was just really well done. So once I finished listening to that, I listened to the next novella in the collection, which was Santa Daddy. So this is about a guy, he's 23, and I'm blanking on his name right now. I remember the love interests. Oh, crap. Anyway, this guy, he's 23, he's really struggling with finding a job now that he's out of college, and so he returns to a job he had when he was 17 as a mall elf at the Santa Village. But the guy who is Santa, he's filling in for the person who usually does it because he broke a hip. And so this Santa, his name is Nick, And he's very attractive. His real job is owning and running a Christmas tree farm, and he's kind of a hermit because his husband had passed away tragically like 8 years ago, and he sort of became a recluse after that. But he has like one friend, and so he's doing him a favor, and they're both immediately attracted to each other, and there is a daddy kink in it, which is not my thing. I didn't think it would be my thing, and I have that confirmed. It was very well done, and I appreciated the clear boundaries of like the daddy dynamic is only when they're being intimate, and otherwise they're equals. So I appreciated that, but it's just not my thing. But I did enjoy it. I thought it was, again, very well done. I really like Keira Andrews' writing style. So I gave that one a 4.5. Like I said, it was good. Just because it's not my thing, doesn't mean I'm gonna like rate it terribly or anything. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Now, so there's one novella left in the collection. I don't know if I'm gonna listen to it. I don't know what it's about. It's more of just like timing. I have like an hour and a half. It's roughly gonna take me an hour and a half, and it just depends on like if I actually have the time to listen to that before Christmas. I don't know. So yeah, there's that. But I have officially met my reading goal. So that's great. And otherwise, I'm going to focus on reading The Gold Bat because I would like to get that done before I leave, because my dad and I try to record the Christmas podcast. Well, it's not really a Christmas podcast, but it's like the podcast that we're doing while around December. We try to do it while I'm here. If we don't, it's not a big deal, but it would be a nice goal to just sort of set myself to get The Gold Bat done. So that's what I'm going to focus on, unless I get another book that I want to read more, which won't be hard. So that's it. I'm looking at a stack of boxes that I sent to my dad's house that I still need to wrap. So I'm going to do that and catch up on YouTube, and I will fill you in if I read more. Hopefully I do. Hi everyone. I finished reading another book. I've not filmed a lot of B-roll because I'm just hanging out with my family. But yesterday I opened my final book from Stephanie. We did 12 days of books where we bought each other 12 books and opened them as a sort of advent calendar. So I opened my last one yesterday, and it was Marshmallow Mountain by A.J. Truman and M.A. Wardell. I read M.A. Wardell before his, I don't remember the actual like title of it, Teacher of the Year series, and I like his writing for the most part. So I was eager to start it. I wanted to read another, sorry, there's like a hair on my phone. I wanted to read another holiday story. So this is a second chance romance about Marshall and Marshall, but one of them goes by Marsh and the other one goes by Data. Or Data. I think it's Data. And they were together for 8 years before Marsh ended their relationship after having a really bad performance at this like comedy review thing. And he moves out, and then like 6 months later contacts Data to say that like they should sell the cabin in Maine that they own, and to arrange to like spend the weekend like packing up and everything. So they go do that. Of course, it's like forced proximity. There is like only one bed at one point, and so over this weekend together they sort of, the idea is to have breakup sex, but like they both still very much care about each other, very much love each other. And so they end up rekindling their romance. I did really enjoy it. It was very ingestible. My issue, though, is that while I understand Marsh's reasons for ending the relationship, the reconciliation of, like, him explaining his thought process to Data, and then Data just being like, well, it's my decision, because Marsh had pretty much made the decision, acting on what he felt Data should have or should want. And Data is like, no, it's my decision, but then, like, and that's it. And then they're back together. Which is like, this man broke up your relationship, broke your trust, impacted your self-confidence for 6 months off of an assumption that he made. And you're not going to have a deeper conversation about that? Like, I felt like there should have been a little bit more. Like, I understand they both love each other. They both want to be back together. I have no issue with that. I feel like it should have been a little bit more, like, of a longer conversation. But that was really my only issue. So I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. It's a very fast read. It is an open door romance, so there's quite a few steamy scenes, which I have no issue with. But if you're someone who doesn't want to read that, this might not be the best book. But I'm gonna go to bed now because it's Christmas Eve, and on Christmas we wake up very early. So I'm gonna go to bed now, and we'll see how many books I get tomorrow. I will probably do a separate holiday book haul, but yeah, we'll see if I start reading one of those, or I should probably read The Gold Bat, because I have not done that. That's probably what I should do. Hopefully next time I check in, I've made some progress with that one. Hi everyone. I've stopped to get gas on my way home. I'm about 3.5 hours away. I started listening to Snow Falling on Cedars. I got about 25% through, and I decided to DNF. 1, because I was very bored. But 2, this book has a lot of, like, flashback scenes. I would say I listened to 25%. I would say 12% of that was flashbacks, but they weren't announced. So there was never any indication that I was in a flashback. If I zoned out, which I did many times, it took me several minutes to realize, like, oh, this is a scene that happened 12 years before the actual plot. So the actual plot is, like, this fisherman on this island off of the coast of Washington, because it's near Seattle, is found dead, and it seems to be murder, and the suspect is a Japanese American man, and it's going through his trial, but it's also going through, like, the prejudice in the town, because this happens in, like, the 60s, and how, you know, Japanese Americans in World War II, even in America, were, like, put into, like, camps because they were perceived as a threat. And so it's dealing with that a little bit, but it was just so boring. It sounded interesting, but it was so boring. So I had to DNF. So, yeah. Just a quick little update, because I am, like, at a gas station. I'm about to go get food. But, yeah, that's what was happening. So I will check in later. Hi everyone, I'm home. I also have a raging headache, so I'm gonna be very chill, and it's gonna be quick. So after I DNF'd Snow Falling on Cedars, took a little bit of a break. Sorry, headache. And then I started listening to a book that my therapist had recommended called Internal Family Systems, which is, like, a type of therapy that I have never done before. No other therapist has mentioned it to me, so I was interested. So I started listening to it, and I could definitely see how there'd be some benefit. It's just a different way of thinking, of processing. So I liked it, but it was really interesting to learn about the history, about how therapists use it to promote, you know, healing, especially like inner like child wounds, especially. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. Between my drive, or like half of my drive home on Saturday, and then like going to and from work yesterday, I don't actually know where I'm at, but I think I'm on like chapter 7. Yeah, I don't know what percentage that is, but I think I passed the 100-page mark, so yay me. Especially because like nonfiction takes me a really long time, so listening to it on audio is actually very helpful. And then I'm just like pausing it every now and then to do like talk to text notes on things that I want to bring up with my therapist. That's about it. Next week will be primarily focusing on the gold bags. I need to get it done. But right now I'm just gonna relax. My head hurts so much. I don't think this is a migraine. I've never had a migraine before, so I don't know how I'm supposed to know. But I think it's just a headache, but it's just not going away. So I'm gonna end this vlog. This is a 2-week vlog, but I got no B-roll. So, or very little B-roll. So it's gonna be super fun to edit, and I'm sure like super entertaining to watch. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a happy holiday, and here's to 2025. Yay. Again, thank you so much. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, click notification bell, all that good stuff. Maybe it'll make my headache go away. And I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.